Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Catalyst Corner. The OTC market has been on absolute fire this week. No, I mean like literal fire, almost like a dumpster fire. But we have a few tickers that have shown that they have been really strong this week that I want to go over with you this week. And guys, I've been looking at my YouTube analytics and I've realized that about 80% of you watching this channel are not subscribers to the channel. And because I love America and I love freedom, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm giving subs to this channel away for absolute free. So if you love freedom, hit that subscribe button below. And if you love to slap the ass, then slap that like button below. But as always, if you're a market dumping little,
what did he say?
Then you can hit that dislike button. Now let's get into the tickers. The first ticker we're going to bring to you tonight is Ifan. As you can see from the chart, this thing absolutely took a dive off the high dive. But the good news is I believe we've hit the bottom of the pool and we're starting to swim back to the top, as you can see by our first green candle in the past 3 days. Ifan got all the way down to about the 2.04 mark. I started averaging back in about the 2.06 mark because I've been watching this all week. The concern with Ifan, there's a couple things happened. Obviously, there's panic selling going on. There's stop losses being hit, but there's also some debt that was in this ticker that's going to have to be removed before the new company is actually going to purchase this ticker. And that's what we believe has happened. We think there's around 50 million shares that needed to be sold to get rid of that debt. And from the calculations that I'm seeing on Twitter of people putting out, I believe that has came to an end. And as you can see by the green candle today, that's an indication to me that we're going to start this reversal. And that's why I decided to go ahead and start a new position going in. Now, if you were smart on this run up, guys, you would have sold and took your money, because the truth is I'm going to be able to double my position back down here at the twos, and I couldn't be more excited about that, because I promise you Ifan is going to go right back up. And if you are holding those bags in the threes or even in the low fours, you're holding Louis Vuitton, because this thing is going to be coming back to you. So it's okay to hold bags sometimes if you have conviction in a play. And I have conviction in Ifan. I believe we're going to be back into the fours very soon, especially if there's news. I still haven't seen the OTC markets get updated with these new officers. So I believe when that happens, that's a catalyst coming forward. And then the next catalyst coming forward for Ifan is going to be obviously trying to figure out what company is actually purchasing this ticker. So I'm very excited about Ifan. Any news whatsoever can make this thing fly. So Ifan is one to keep on your watch list for the rest of this week. The next ticker is PUGE. We also covered this on Sunday Stock Picks. And PUGE, even though we had a red day today, this thing during the day is showing some absolute crazy strength. It will have swings. It'll break the 1 cent mark. It'll go up to 1.05, and then there'll be a sell-off down. I think a couple days ago we sold all the way down back to 0.006, and then in no time we were all the way back up testing the 1 cent mark. There's a lot of people behind this stock. There's a lot of people holding these dips and buying these dips. We ran all the way up, as you can see today, to 0.0112. Some news came out from one of the acquisitions that they are coming out with, that they have an LOI signed. Obviously, there was a sale of the news. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard, but that's the way things work in the OTC market. So there was a sell-off, and as you can see, that thing sold all the way off back to the doubles, eights. And once again, it immediately got bought back up. So that's a sign to me that this thing has incredible, incredible strength. So keep your eye on PUGE. I think this thing is going to keep running. The next ticker we're going to talk about is IFXY. We covered this ticker as well last week, and it, just like every other ticker in the OTC market, had 2 huge red days. We've just had a complete sell-off the last couple days. And today, this thing dropped all the way down to the 0088, looks like. And then absolutely, like a lot of stocks today, just absolutely went on a tear. And that's why I'm very bullish about going into the rest of the week. The sell-off seems to have stopped, and there's volume and buying coming back into these tickers. So if you've been watching these tickers, the ones that you like and you have conviction in, there have been some amazing buys happening in the past couple of days. And so on these red days, guys, watch your tickers. You can get some amazing entries and get some very cheap discounts on a lot of these tickers. This thing ended up going all the way up to 0.0120 before closing the day at 0.0115 and up 26% on the day. So IFXY, keep an eye on it the rest of the week as well. The next ticker is APTY. We covered this a couple weeks ago at 0.014, I do believe. It ran all the way up to 1.8. We covered it again last week on Sunday. This thing had some news come out, and it absolutely went on a tear up here to the 2.18 cent range. And then last 2 days, like everything else, even though this was one of the red days in most of the market, APTY held very strong. Bitcoin and a lot of cryptos are running really hard right now, and APTY is a crypto play. It did have 2 red days, but once again, this thing is holding very strong, and I have not changed these lines. This thing loves to trade in this upward channel. So if you can get a buy somewhere around this resist or this support line, you've got a pretty good chance of having little risk in this play because this also has a lot of support from a lot of long-term holders in the ticker. So keep an eye on APTY. This thing could be curling back up and testing back up here in the 2s very soon. Guys, I want to talk about JPEX. There's a lot of DD being brought out about what merger company this is coming into. Drew Diligence on Twitter. If you don't follow him, you go give him a follow. He put together a huge DD packet on this, on who he believes the merging company is going to be. A lot of people feel this is going to be the largest merger in all of the custo plays and that this will lead the way for all the other custos. But this thing, the reason, even though it's had 3 red days in a row, and I'm putting it on this list, the strength once again has been absolutely amazing on JPEX. Yesterday, this thing dropped all the way down to 0.0260, and then it almost ran all the way back up to green before it ended up closing the day red. And then today, as you can see, I want you to look at that candle. This thing dropped all the way down to 0.0242 and then ran all the way up to 3.44. That is a huge percentage in a day before it ended up settling in this area about the 0.0295 mark. So this thing has a lot of strength. So keep an eye on JPEX. I think we see a reversal in this ticker coming as well. Okay, guys, the last ticker I want to cover is FERN, which is FERN. There's a lot of information about acquisitions that it is coming out with. It's supposed to have an acquisition, one of its biggest ones coming in the next month. This thing, once again, had an amazing dip buy and then just took off and was running. And a lot of these tickers did that about the same time during the day. So that is another reason I'm very bullish about the next 2 days. Things seem to be turning around because all these tickers you've looked at all had the same thing, just a complete sell-off. This thing got down here to 2.71 cents and then absolutely ran all the way back up to 3.83 cents. Once again, another huge run in a 1-day gap. So if you had this thing and got lucky on a purchase on a dip right here, like I said, the last 2 days have been amazing dip buy opportunities. You would have done very well for yourself, and it actually closed up here near this high. So in my opinion, that's very bullish for FERN, and I believe we can see it going even further the rest of the week. Guys, I truly believe that the OTC is going to turn around the rest of this week. It had ran super hot for the entire month of September, and so it is just a little bit of a time for a cool off, and I believe we're getting ready for that next leg up. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know down in the comments what ticker you think is going to take off for the remainder of the week, and until then, we'll see you on the next show.